Hi, my name is Ahmed Mohammed. How are you today? So, in my previous videos, I was talking about how to manage stress, which I hope majority of you would find very useful. And today I'm here to actually talk about what is stress? How do we define stress? Or how do we know when we are stressed or something is making us to feel perhaps I would say very stressful. So let's look at the definition of stress. From professional health, stress has different definition, but the one that I actually prefer and can relate to more is defined as stress is the body's reaction to feeling threatened or under pressure. It is very common and can be motivating to help us achieve things in our daily life and can help us meet the demands of home, work, and family life. So sometimes stress is good because it gets us to do what we actually need to do. We respond to things or we react to things rather than just leaving it and be scared of it. So when we actually encounter stress, our body is stimulated to produce stress hormones that triggers a flight or fight response and activate our immune system. This response helps us to respond quickly to dangerous situations. Stress is a response to a threat in a situation, whereas anxiety is a reaction to the stress. So, it's all about how we respond to things and also how we react to it. And previously in my videos, I was talking about knowing what we're in control of and what we are actually not in control of. In this situation, when we know what we are actually in control of, then how do we manage this stress? So when we look at ourselves from young refugees, migrants, caregivers, and living in a shared accommodation. So I will give you a current or a reality example that I know some of you are actually going through at the moment due to this current pandemic that the world is currently facing. So if you're living in a shared accommodation and the Prime Minister in the UK has said everyone should stay at home except if you're going out for essential things, which is going to supermarket or going to pharmacy or going out for a daily run, and you shouldn't be in a place or be in your house where there is more than the people in your household. This can be very difficult for many of us, especially young people. Sometimes you're feeling alone, you want to be with your friends. And the example that I wanted to give here today is, let's say you live in a shared accommodation with two or three other young people, and you know clearly one of the ways to prevent the coronavirus spreading out is social distancing. However, your roommate is inviting his friends around, and this is stressing you out, and you're not happy, and you don't know how to respond or react to it. Whereby you have friends in the house, they come in, your roommate friends comes into the house, they do what they want to do, they have fun, but you know that's not the right thing because they don't live there. You don't know where they've been or how they get to where they are. You don't know what they've put their hands into, how many times have they washed their hands on that day. You don't know. You have no information about those situations. But you're so stressed that they're not following the guidelines and you couldn't talk to your friend. What do you think you can do in this situation? So remember the fight or flight response. So in this situation, you can actually speak to your friend about it. However, not all of us can actually go to someone and speak to them about how we feel. This is why we have a social worker, we have a support worker, we have a care worker. It's good to talk about how you feel, because remember, it's your feelings. Your roommate don't know about how you feel. They don't even know if it's bothering you, but you're not feeling happy about it. So pick up your phone, speak to your support worker, or call your social worker if they are available, explaining the situation to them. And what would happen by doing this? You're helping yourself to feel good about your mental well-being rather than leaving things to keep accumulating that will continue to actually disturb your mind, disturb your mindset, getting you to keep thinking. And eventually what usually happens in this kind of situation is we start to think about the negative things. We start to tell ourselves that our roommate is not doesn't have consideration. I remember when I used to live in a shared accommodation, and my roommates have his friends around, and he actually, smokes as well. And there is something that he smokes that I don't like the smell or it's either a cigarette, but I'm not sure. But I don't like the smell, and it bothers me so much. And I don't know how to approach him. I didn't know what to do, and every single day I just wasn't happy. And eventually I started having negative energy towards him, but he doesn't know that. But through the learning and the knowledge that I have, eventually I understand that he doesn't know and I need to speak to him. But before I did that, I have to speak to my social worker first. And my social worker said, can you speak to him about it? Maybe it will not escalate the situation. And I said, yes, actually, I can speak to him and let him understand. So this was how I dealt with that situation. And this is the reason why I'm encouraging you at this current situation, during this moment where we couldn't go out, we were not allowed to have friends around, and you're experiencing your roommate in the same flat, his friends are keep coming around, visiting, and this is getting you stressed. Bear in mind, there are so many other things that you're stressed about. You shouldn't allow something that you can resolve to prevent you from having a good mental health, because you can actually resolve this. And the way you can do it is either one, you speak to him and remind him of the current Prime Minister's guidelines about social distancing, or two, you speak to your support worker or your social worker or your key worker that you know they can get involved and speak to your roommate about this situation. So I hope you find this very useful, and hopefully if you're experiencing this, just not your roommates as well, it could be anything that you're currently experiencing that's stressing you out. Remember, if you don't speak, you don't get help, and try to write things down. Sometimes it helps as well. Write it down. Write about how you feel. Talk to a friend or talk to a friend. A friend can sometimes give you the correct guidelines or support on how to deal with a situation. So this is a simple method of how you can deal with stress in this current situation. In the next videos, we will be talking about the different types of stress. So I hope you find this very useful. If you need more advice or guidelines, please do follow me on my social media handles: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and do drop us a message, and we will be here to support you. any day, anytime. Thank you very much for watching. Ahmed Mohammed, you versus you.